Thank you so much for having me. You're so awesome.
Oh my God. Thank you for coming on, you
You
podcast
look
host.
gorgeous.
Shut up.
You really do. Look at that. Like, I gotta fucking learn how to do my makeup.
Oh my God, I
It's
don't have makeup on.
You don't? Shut
No,
up.
no, but I
Really?
do, I do, I
You
do
have
have,
something.
I have the little Zoom filter like halfway. Do you?
No, I don't. I
Oh,
hate filters. I refuse to filter myself unless it's like really desperate and there's just like today I had to send a filtered picture because they screenshotted me for some podcast and I just look like vascular, like I look like Jesse Ventura yelling about something. And so they were like, choose a screenshot, and then I couldn't find one where I looked good. It was just bad lighting, and like I just was like my neck was just doing too much.
yeah.
And so I just sent them one and go and throw a filter on it. But that's the first time I've requested that. I really don't like filters.
I mean,
I just want to know
okay,
the truth and then hate
okay.
myself
I
for what's really
agree.
going
I
on.
agree. Like, I don't, do you use the Paris filter on Instagram? Like when
I
you,
refuse. I refuse
okay.
to do it. I won't do it
Yeah.
because it's so subtle and makes me look so much better. And it makes me feel like I don't want to look in the mirror and expect to see that because I'll always be sad if I look in the mirror.
And also, it's like I remember when I used it at the beginning, I don't anymore at all because I'd feel bad. I'd get so many messages being like, your skin is so amazing. And I'm like,
Come
I
on, guys.
like, and even today, it's like obvious to me today, like who uses it and who doesn't. And then I'll
Hmm.
see people being like, oh my God, their skin. And I'm like, do you not know how to swipe left when you,
That is it. And I think I remember there was this girl that I had not met and only knew from Instagram. She's so perfect, tiny little waist that looks like it had been adjusted, and it just such a filtered face because I know what a filter looks like. And I go, oh, I bet she's pretty beat up in person because she uses such a heavy filter. Like she's got a great body and a great figure and statuesque and pretty features, but I bet she's like a little bit more busted because she almost looks like animated, when I see her in pictures. And then I met her in person. I'm like, she's even prettier. It's like, what are you doing this for? Like,
yeah.
you're the prettiest person. You could have no filter. And that's just, I think, the sad irony of the situation is the most insecure people are usually like the people who don't need to be.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on filters. I will say I think the Zoom filter is like a different kind of animal. It's just like because Zoom, first of all, you look amazing. But like if I go on Google Meet right now and it doesn't
Yeah.
have that, I'm gonna feel
Oh,
really like, I don't
okay.
know. There's no lighting here. Anyway, you guys, Nikki Glaser is here. You probably haven't heard of her and at all recently. She's been really underground.
I was until like 2 weeks ago.
Um,
Yeah, nine days ago, my life changed.
Really? Do you think of it like that?
Oh yeah, it's like, I mean, I was doing well, but if I would have had the same career that I would have had pre-roast for the rest of my life, like I didn't. I was like totally happy with that. I tour theaters. They're not the biggest theaters. They're not arenas. I have a lot of money. I'm a single woman, so I don't need that much. I like my life. I like the amount of cool things I get to do. I'm totally fine with it never being bigger. I wasn't always like, why isn't more people recognize how great I am? Like, if anything, I'm like, this is just right. Like,
Yeah.
this is what I deserve. And then this pop happened the only kind of time I ever imagined being like what I feel has happened now is maybe when I was in high school dreaming about what it would like to be famous and like everyone knows like people are whispering about you and they see you and they go, is that her? And like thinking about, I'm kind of going through that right now where it's kind of switched over to that a little bit more, not on like a scale that an A-lister would ever feel, but I can feel the shift, and it's not something that I've longed for or wanted in the past 10 years of like one of doing this, because you kind of find out soon that successes and fame isn't like what it makes you happy and lovable, but it still feels really good.
That's wild because you've been doing roasts for a while. So what's
Yeah.
so different about this roast? Like Tom Brady? Like
Just more
him?
people saw it. More people saw it. More people saw clips. There was not a lot of other things going on in the news that week. So it was him. It was just by virtue of the fact that it was live. It was on Netflix. It's part of Netflix is a joke festival. There's like things leading up. It
Oh,
was like, it was an event. And um, I think the live nature of it really did sell it. And the fact that Tom Brady, who is bigger than anyone that's ever been roasted in the past, is doing it.
really? He's
Yeah.
bigger than, I mean,
I mean, Justin Bieber was as close as you got, but like literally anyone else. I mean, the people I've roasted, Rob Lowe, not bigger than Rob Lowe, Alec Baldwin, and Bruce Willis. So I think those guys are big, but they're on like kind of the downside of their career, where Tom's just starting out. He's 44. He's not going anywhere anytime soon and doesn't really need this. So I think that was the big deal.
Yeah, and also, I mean, you did mention Netflix, and because before it was like a Comedy Central
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
only. Oh, gotcha. No,
Yeah.
that's wild because like when
Uncensored. Yeah.
set up this podcast, it was like Nikki's coming out with her special.
Yeah.
Like your PR didn't even mention the roast.
It was like
it was like a blip. It was supposed to be a blip.
Yeah, it wasn't. I knew it wasn't a blip. Maybe people weren't taking it as seriously in my camp, and maybe we were trying to respect HBO. Like this is we have to promote the HBO special. We don't want to promote for Netflix. There's a lot of politics that are involved in it. In the end, though, it benefited everyone. Like HBO is seeing a huge pop because more people are watching my special because they recognize me from the roast.
Are you up to number 1 yet? Because I saw number 2.
I was number 2 in movies. I didn't even know I was a movie, so I'm just happy to be nominated.
No, and I feel like everywhere, I feel like you've had specials on other streamers, and now every streamer I open,
they're pushing it.
You're the face.
That's what I'm saying. That's the change. Is like people are starting to go through their archives and be like, we did an interview with her once, and she said that things are appearing.
Are you scared? Are you scared? I mean, no.
I'm learning my lesson. Like I made a mistake. Like, with more fame comes people just paying attention to everything you say. So I was on a podcast that I thought, people listen to, but it's not going to get TMZ isn't going to notice it or what. Not that any TMZ would ever care about me. They barely care when I literally go up to them and go, I've got a scoop. Like they don't. I literally used to be the girl. There's TMZ buses driving through LA all the time with people, which is a thing I would have totally done had I gone to LA in high school or college to like see celebrities. And sometimes I see these bored people like in this bus and they're driving down Sunset, and that's like near the Comedy Store. That's usually where I'm staying, and I walk during the day. And I used to stop them and go like, I'm Nikki Glaser. I've been on TV. If that's exciting, like, cause they just want to see. It's like you're not gonna get to see the lion that you want to see on the safari, but you got to see like a bonobo who's like waving at. Like I feel like I'm the bonobo. It gives them something. Like, oh, we saw someone who's on TV. So I used to like be running after TMZ vehicles, and now they're picking up an innocuous thing I said I had just gotten a DM from Kim Kardashian, which is I feel like is an okay thing to admit, and that's where I should have stopped and said she just DM'd me something nice, but instead I read the DM because it was honestly. I felt like if she read it, I wouldn't feel offended. So I kind of just like applied that to her, not knowing that people just take things out of context for her. And also just because she didn't say anything weird, she doesn't want it read out. Like, I just thought it was like a lovely exchange between two people that was just loving. And honestly, I thought it made her look great.
Wait, how are people misinterpret? How?
Because in the thing she was just giving me props. She was like, girl, I don't know you killed it. I don't know how you do that. It's like, it's abuse.
So people took that and ran.
And now they're saying Kim Kardashian DMs Nikki Glaser. She doesn't understand the roast. It's abuse. So it sounds like she's talking about what they may have done when she got booed or something. She wasn't talking about that. She was just talking about showing respect to people up on the stage who are much more inclined to get jokes said about them. And my response is, it is abuse. She's not wrong. But obviously we're asking for it. She didn't say that we didn't deserve it. She was just saying it's abuse. It literally is. Someone is saying the worst things about you to your face. It's not nice. It doesn't make you feel good. And also, I give her so many props. People are like, people are just being mean to her because they don't like her, because they're jealous, or because they have some other kind of beef that has nothing to do with them, that they're sticking up for someone else. And to me, she was really cool to be there. She sat there the whole fucking show when other people made their little appearance and then got the hell out of there. She sat the whole show and watched everyone for 3 hours and was such a good sport, laughing the whole time. I saw her laughing during my set. I was like, I fucking love this girl. She is like the real deal. Then she gets up there and gets booed, doesn't let it rattle her at all, doesn't even give it credence, nails her lines that I knew she would because she was great on SNL. And then I just saw the comments in these little like, ET exclusive. Kim Kardashian tweets to or DMs Nikki Glaser that the roast is literal abuse. And I'm like, I wrote a caption or a
comment
response back being like, she was talking in hyperbole. it was a nice conversation between two people that was all about love and respect, and it's being twisted. I learned my lesson. I'm sorry, Kim. I'll never ever read anything. Literally, if you're just like cool shirt, like I'll never ever read a private DM from someone.
Did you
I learned it.
did you DM her like sorry?
No, I'm scared now, to
No,
be
but
honest with you. I'm just hoping this gets picked up.
wait, listen,
It gets to
listen.
her.
I will tell you as a Kim internet friend, okay? She doesn't care about anything. Like she's literally like
That's what I
Nikki,
figured too.
this
She's not even gonna
doesn't
notice.
like it doesn't move, it doesn't tickle her schnitzel. Like I when I see the crazy shit posts about her, I'm always wondering like is
Is
she
she okay?
alive? Like
Yeah.
when the crazy shit happens. And even then, like she's okay. You know, she's living her life, she doesn't care.
And that's
So
why, yeah, she's a brave bitch. That's why
so
that was
don't feel bad. I get
I
you because
I just don't want her to be like, what the fuck? This bitch like betrayed me or like,
but if she sees
is
the clip, which she will, she'll see that you were excited about getting a DM from her and she'll
yeah,
like
it was
love
all
it.
love.
Yeah.
But that just sucks when things are taken out of context and like it's kind of hilarious where you're like,
Well,
how are they going to do it with this? But they'll spin it.
let Kim be your inspiration
Yeah.
to now that you're, can't walk these streets without all the attention. Now you know, and you know
Now
not to
I
let it.
know.
Now you
Now
know
that
not to
I'm
let it. But what did you think of the booze? Because I watched it live, which again is now making me think of the like psychology of this roast. Like I watched a roast live at like a 3 hour roast
yeah.
and then I got in bed actually because like I was like I saw everybody I wanted to see and then I started
Mhm.
getting messages like Ben Affleck is being so embarrassing and I ran out to the living
It
room
was an event.
and I went to watch Ben Affleck. I was like I need to see it.
It
But
was like the Oscars,
what
like
do
in
you
terms of people, yeah, consuming it and
right?
talking about it.
Wild. I don't get how because like I don't care about Tom Brady. I don't even think Tom Brady. I mean, you were salivating over him. I was like gonna ask you, really think he's that hot? I was like trying
I
to decide.
did. And then I saw him in person and he looked a little bit different. I mean, like, not that he's not hot. Like, I still think he's a gorgeous, perfect man. He's too perfect, like, it's not
Mm,
even,
yeah.
but yeah, I was horny for him. And watching like watched all the documentaries about him and I was just horny for him in terms of like I respected him so much and thought it was really cool how hard he worked and how he was kind of counted out. He was really counted out, and then he became the best ever. It's just fascinating. So I really respect him. So I leaned into my horniness to sell those
Yeah.
jokes about like, oh God, you're so fucking. I respect you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. I mean,
What
I
a
did
banging.
watch like an old roast of yours and you referenced him, which is like kind of like a
I know.
foreshadowing, and you called him a goat too.
Yes, too. I was shitting on Peyton Manning and I was like, Peyton Manning, you're so good in commercials. You're like the Tom Brady of commercials.
Yeah.
And because Tom Brady's the GOAT, like so you're like the GOAT. So I explained it to him and I had no idea, yeah, the foreshadowing that maybe Tom saw that and liked me because I know that Tom had to approve my presence on the dais. So I'm sure he was aware of me.
Oh, he
Yeah,
thought
so
maybe he
maybe that
was
was
like,
it.
maybe he was like, she's into me. Wait, but what did you think then of the booze? Because I watched it live before the Netflix cut it out. I was like, what is going on? And I watched her like, you know how like for me, if I get really nervous, I'll like swallow spit or like nothing was happening. She was fine. And she literally was like, guys, like, how would you, what was the vibe in the room? Were you shocked at have you ever seen a booze in a roast?
You know what? I know, and it made me really like upset, and it made me. I thought it was Swifty meditated, and I was as a Swifty disappointed in.
Yeah, control your people.
I just,
Nikki.
but then I learned it wasn't my people.
Oh, it wasn't your people?
Okay, so this is insider info. Pick this up, ET. I ran into someone who at the Comedy Store the next night, and they were with some wild guy who's a comedian, just like a I don't even know, it's some open micer guy who kind of has a reputation for just like starting shit and being kind of like a roast comic type guy in the scene. I don't remember who it was, but apparently he started the boo as just like a joke. Like he was just like, probably had too many drinks or something. And he is not affiliated with Swifties, anything. Like just felt like saying a boo into the air. And apparently just everyone was so riled up And I think she stands for like they're sports fans, and she stands for being famous for nothing. She doesn't have talent or whatever. So it just kind of got caught wind, but it wasn't Swiftie meditated. I do have that on good information that it was not based on that. And because I was like, this doesn't feel like a huge Swiftie crowd. Not that there's not
Right.
Swifties everywhere, but it
Right. It
didn't feel
doesn't.
like that was the vibe in the room. And I was like, oh, if this is just like sports fans wanting to have some sort of release to boo, because there were so many Patriots fans there. And then the guy that started it started as a joke, and it just caught on too much. But it wasn't, I was so glad to learn it was not Swiftie
Well,
meditated.
yeah, it makes sense. Like the audience was like Barstool vibes too, even though like
Yes.
the president
Same
of
vibe.
Barstool hates Kim. So that
So
the
yeah, that's in line. And like, listen, it's not just like Swifties who have beef with her suddenly. It's like everyone, even people who love her, kind of resent her. Like
weird.
it's people who watch the Kardashians don't like the Kardashians, and they don't realize subconsciously they love the Kardashians, but they claim to not. Like that's the thing is like, and I think I used to be that kind of fan too, where I'd make fun of them and like try to convince myself I was better than them in some way. And why are they talented? But then I'm just like, they fucking are talented. It's not like a skill that you can like, uh, if you're that you can define, like she's good at juggling this thing that she does.
Yeah.
It's kind of indescribable, but it's not. They're good at branding, and they're
Yeah.
good at being themselves on camera, which is
Also,
hard to do. Like,
today is not the day, you guys. We're in 2024. There are a gazillion people famous for
yes,
not a skill.
what
You know
that's
what I
I don't
mean?
want to hear that anymore. Of like they're not
Like,
talented. They clearly are. They've achieved something consistently for 20 years now. They're
yeah.
talented. You just don't. It doesn't look like the talent you define.
Okay, so it wasn't the Swifties, but you are a
Yeah,
huge Swiftie, but
huge.
still you don't take sides in this feud.
This is
In
the
this
way I am with my friends, and like it's something about myself that I wouldn't even know unless my boyfriend pointed it out. He's like, Nikki, whenever he says something, when people are singing my praises, he's like, and another thing about Nikki is that um she won't not like someone because someone else doesn't like them. She has to find out for herself.
Mm,
And yes, I can be like mad at disappointed in how people behave towards people I love, and but I kind of give them a chance with me to defend themselves. And until I'm friends with Taylor Swift and know intimately what happened, and I'm not just assuming from songs that literally might not be about Kim. Like she could be totally deceived. It could be about a girl named Kim from high school. Like she hasn't confirmed it, everyone.
okay,
And
Nikki, it's capitalized in the fucking title. It's so
I
about
know
Kim.
I've,
Come
but
on.
yes, I know it is, but there is reasonable doubt. And I just until I'm friends with Taylor and I learn the intimate details and that make me go, what the fuck?
But Nikki, even for Taylor's friends, I mean, we have everyone. Lana was just, we hugging Kim on the carpet. Sabrina
So
Carpenter was in
I think
Skims.
Taylor is okay with it.
Maybe she's okay
I
with
think
it.
Taylor is like maybe is someone who is okay to pick her own battles and doesn't need alliances, or maybe not. Maybe we'll see her distance herself from those women. But I would I would hate to lose an opportunity to feel like I love Taylor. Like I would hate to my love for Taylor Swift is not diminished by the fact that I see room for Kim Kardashian to have been a good person to me. At least I've only noticed her being kind to
Yeah.
me. And I kind of that way with everyone. Like I kind of got to witness it for myself. And I
I love
maybe
how
that's a
you
bad
say, I
quality.
love how you say until I'm friends with Taylor. Like you're not leaving room here for.
Oh no, it'll happen without
Yeah.
question. It's
Wait,
like
wait, let's talk about this. Has she slid into your DMs ever?
no, but I don't expect that at all, and I'm not holding my breath waiting for that. I am really so satisfied with being the fan that I am right now. It's like my life is so full because of Taylor Swift. So anything that like could mess that up in terms of like now there's added pressure because she's my friend, like, and if I ever felt like I disappointed her, I couldn't, like, I don't think I'd be able to listen to her music in the same way. So I'm almost like, let's keep this because I inevitably will disappoint my friends, like
But you know
when
she's aware of you because you were
yeah.
invited to her show years ago, and now Travis is like talking about you, and you're going to be on his show, the fifth
Yeah, I
grader
did a show
show.
with Travis. I filmed like 2 days of episodes with Travis Kelce, and which was incredible to work with him. And like I just kept it cool. Like I didn't want to be like, hey, I'm obsessed with your girlfriend. I was gonna make a joke during the taping that was like, Travis, it's nice to meet you. It's nice to meet one of my best friend's boyfriends. And like, because that's how I feel.
Yeah,
That's how I
yeah.
felt the whole taping was just like, oh my God, I'm so excited for my friend. He's so nice and cool and friendly to everyone and like
So
respectful.
you
And
get it. You get it. You like when you
yes,
were with
I'm
him.
so happy for my friend Taylor because he's awesome. I really was. I was like, this guy's a freaking winner. He treated everyone so kindly. He was really good at it. Like this job that's a really hard, like reading from a teleprompter, owning a show, making it your own. Because there's comedians on it and there's also contestants. Like I've witnessed people host talk shows countless times. I'm always on these celebrity panels of things, and they're not easy to host and to make everyone feel like they're important for being there. And he made us all feel so good. And it was a fast day. Like he's just good. He's just good.
Yeah.
Everyone that was working there was just like, this guy was walked into it never hosting anything. And we gave him a little couple pointers and he just did the work. He went home and just watched tape, learned how to be, and came in on Monday and was just knew who he was. And that's why I was just like proud of my friend's boyfriend.
Just
I
proud.
really
Wait,
was. I was like,
wait.
you've already done so much and now this.
I mean, he did say he wants to be like the Rock, Like his goals are bigger than football.
He absolutely can be. There's no question that he can have a very long career in hosting to the point where you're like, he used to play football. Like those guys where you're like, oh my God, oh, Michael Strahan. Like sometimes I forget he played football.
Oh
Like
yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
He could have that. He's that talented. And he's not, and he's good. He's nice to people that he works with. I can tell that he's just, and those people last long in this business. He was great. And
You
I got
live.
so nervous around him.
Oh, you
like,
did? You were nervous?
like I realize now I can't keep it cool around, like, I can't, I will eventually be cool, but when I first meet someone I really love and have loved a while, like Dave Matthews and Taylor Swift, if I ever meet her in person, I know I won't be able to keep my cool. But Howard Stern, like the first time I met these people was just like I don't know how to talk. Like my body fails me in a way that it doesn't in any other aspect of my life. But with Travis Kelce, my teeth were literally chattering when I had my, like, on camera. I was fine talking to him because it's like I'm on camera. But then the second the cameras are off and he's like, so where are you from in Ohio? And I was just like, I literally couldn't remember the town that I'm from in Ohio. And my teeth were chattering because I was so nervous. But then, after 30 seconds, it goes away or whatever. But at first I was like, Nikki, you are losing control of your body because this person's proximity to your favorite person. So yes, I'm going to be friends with that person
Wait, so
someday.
you
Don't know
literally
how.
said nothing
No,
about
I just
Taylor
go,
the whole day?
no, no, no. I didn't.
Oh,
He
wow.
complimented my suit. He was like, love the lavender suit. Cause he was just like, he was always making people feel seen and special. And he goes, nice lavender suit. And I go, lavender haze, baby. So I like threw that out there. I think that was the first thing I said to him. And I was like, is he gonna, and
Did
he
you
just like pointed at me, like it was
did
just
you
like he was having,
overthink it after, or did you feel good about that
well,
decision?
I felt good about that decision because it didn't seem to make him go like, wait, she's a Swiftie. And I did change my screen. Actually, I didn't change my screen. My screen was Taylor Swift, like for my faceplate, and I have Taylor Swift's phone case, which I know she still has. I thought this one I bought like 2 years ago, and I thought she would moved on, but she still has it. So but I was like, if I change this out and change my screen, that means that I'm like hiding something from him, and I don't want to be like, if he finds out, he's gonna know eventually that I'm a huge fan. I just don't want it to be like me being like, I'm a huge fan. Like if he sees
Right.
her on my thing, I'll be like, yeah, isn't this picture fucking hot and cool? Like your girlfriend rules. I'd be like able to say that.
I got you. I'm just thinking like if you had more time, you could have probably gotten like a FaceTime or something.
No, I don't want that. No, Taylor and I will be friends when Taylor wants to be friends with me. Like I don't ever want to try to finagle a way to meet her. I will never ever. People are always like, I have a way for you to meet her. Like this guy will introduce, and I go, nope.
Wait, but
No.
you did meet her. Wasn't the story, but you don't consider
Yes.
that like a
But
real
that was like, I
meeting?
didn't know Taylor Swift yet. Like she
Oh,
was just a girl who sang and I saw her concert and I was blown away at the concert in a way that was just like, what is this? And then I met her afterwards and she was so nice, but I was not a Swiftie yet.
okay.
It was not the same. So I'll be cool when I meet her, but I just want it to happen like where she goes, I want to I want to be friends with her,
Yeah.
because I'm on board. I don't want to push it on her. She
Yeah.
knows.
Yeah, I don't know if like the phone case and the screensaver, like if that will be too much, to be like friends.
It probably is, and that's okay. Maybe I'm trying to make it too much so she actually never comes calling because
Right.
it's too much. I like almost don't want it. Like I'm sabotaging it,
You
but
are, yeah.
having her on my phone screen helps my life.
No, I
And
can't with you. Yeah.
and having her phone case makes me feel cool because I like her style and like it makes me feel like it's worth it even if it's kind of crazy. But I will say that I'm friends with some girls that started as fans of mine. Like fans in the same way that they're like shaking when they met me. And
No, stop.
I have one friend in particular, and this was before this is 6 years ago. She was a comedian, so she was aware of me in other ways other people weren't. And she just consumed everything I did, knew everything about my life, listened to every podcast. And she was friends with a friend of mine who I ran into outside of a restaurant. And I was like, "Oh, is this your girlfriend?" And he was like, "No, this is Carlisle." And she was like, in the background, she's just like, kind of like, "Hi." And I was like, "Hi." He was like, "She loves you." And I was like, "Oh my God, let's take a picture." And then I was going to a party the next night. I was like, "Come to this party." Like, and then we hung out and she knew everything about me and she already was on board. She already loved me. I'm very honest on podcasts. So it's like, if you do listen to me on podcasts and think you could be friends with me, you probably could. You're probably right. It's just a matter of me meeting you and you living in my town. And
Wait, where do you
like,
live? Not in
well,
LA.
at the time I was in LA, but I live in St. Louis now.
What was
Yeah.
that? What's that decision like in
That's
St. Louis?
my boyfriend is here. We're both from here. We both moved back. We were broken up for like 3 years. We had dated, we broke up for 3 years, and we both moved back to St. Louis during COVID. And we just started hanging out to be like, "Oh, you're someone I know." We didn't have we weren't like mad at each other after our breakup. And then it just turned into more. And then I filmed a reality show and we were dating when that started filming. And I was like, "Will you be on camera?" I was like, "The guy I'm dating, because you are." And he was like, "I don't really want to be on camera." When I said, "Well, I sold the show to them as a show about me dating, so I'm gonna go on dates, and I kind of want to date someone who wants to be on camera with me. I think reality TV could be in my future." And he said, "Okay, I'll be on camera." So then he was on camera. And then we started going to therapy through the show, like, because you not need to do shit on a reality show. They need to they're like, "Okay, will you guys go to a therapist?" And I was like, "Okay." And we literally still see that therapist. We went to her today, actually. Like, and that was 3 years ago. So that show kind of like made our relationship work.
Wait, but
Just
the
yeah.
show was what year was that? Because that was you replaced the
2020.
Kardashian slot.
Yeah. Yes.
You
We filled
replaced,
that's 2022. May of 2022
but
was when
you're
it
dating him
aired.
for 10 years. So what was the first bit?
The first bit was 2018, or sorry, 2013 to 2016. And then eight. No, we took a break from we break up a lot, but we took a big break from 18 or 2016 to 2020 about.
And then
So
got back
4 years.
together when you were both in
St.
St.
Louis.
Louis. And
Yeah.
now you're there. How is living there?
It's good. I like it because when I'm in New York and LA, I feel just this pressure to work, work, work. There's always a podcast to do. There's always a set to go do at night. There's just and I'm someone who is addicted to work. And if I'm not working, and I could be, I feel guilty. So I like being in St. Louis because I come back here and there's not this pressing urge for me to perform all the time here. So it's kind of like a break. And I go on the road every weekend. So it's just like I come back here and I have like a normal life and get to be with my family.
You think you're gonna say?
No, I think that now that I've had this pop, I think that more work is going to come in now that I'm like leveled up and used to be DMing Kim Kardashian. I think that I am going to probably end up in LA or New York, but I think keep a place in St. Louis. I kind of like being I like living out of a suitcase. I like living
You
in hotels.
do.
I like flying. I
Wait,
don't
and
really
is he
mind it.
down? What's boyfriend's name?
Yeah. Chris. Yeah,
Chris.
he's down. He's a TV producer, and so he works from job to job too, kind of freelance, and we work together on a lot of things. So yeah, he loves travel too. So it's kind of ideal.
And you don't see a breakup again happening.
Well, that's not off the table by any means because it's just always there's one looming. We're in a patch right now where we were like about to break up, and I think it's actually we're making a concerted effort to try harder. But there's always a chance of it.
No,
but I
because you
think
talk about like kids and stuff, but you don't you talk
Yeah.
about like not wanting kids openly and stuff, but you don't talk about like the marriage.
Yeah, that to
Stuff.
me scares me too. I just don't like saying something is the way it's going to be forever because if it's not perfect, I don't want it forever. So I just I like the idea that I can get out of something even and it's not fun to be with me because you don't feel like
Secure.
consistency and
Yeah.
secure. Yeah. And so that's something I'm trying to find a way to be able to give to someone without having to get married. Not that he even wants that, but just trying to figure out how to be like a partner to someone and consistent and kind of say goodbye to other, like make sacrifices, like you, I don't know, but there's something about me that does not like permanence. I don't own a home. I don't like to stay in one place too long. I
Oh, so
like newness.
you're renting and
Yeah. I
and
don't own anything. I don't even own a car. I bought my mom a car and then I was like, I'll just drive her old car. I like don't like owning. I can't I'm bad at committing.
oh my God, therapist has some work.
Oh, yeah, and that we haven't even touched on that. I've been going to therapy for so long, and my commitment issues haven't even been addressed. But they are, yeah. But I guess they have because it all comes from a place of not feeling worthy of love or nice things, like of messing something up, of regret, which I don't know where a fear of regret comes from. It's something I struggle with a lot, but have been better about getting over. But like, it used to consume me. I would just make some mistake on something and just go like, why did I do that? Why would I have done that? Well, you're such an idiot. And that's something I really have had to work on letting go of because it would happen every single time I do anything high pressure. And it's just ruined my week afterwards.
Well, now you're turning 40 in like a minute.
Yes.
Wait, is it June 1st? You're a Gemini.
June 1st.
I'm May 31st, by the
Oh
way.
my God. Yes.
Yeah. So how Gemini are you? Like you're so Gemini.
I guess I am. Like it's everyone
Like
tends
what
to,
else would you be, you know?
yeah, I like just being, you mean non-committal and just kind of like flighty?
I mean, there's some people that you meet and you find out that they're well, I'm a Gemini too, so it's not like
Yeah.
I'm like astrologically like inclined in general. I just like know when I see a birthday of somebody, like when I saw you were June 1st, it just like was like, well,
I
duh.
love that. I love being a Gemini. I feel like even the bad things about it, I'm like, no, I'm kind of glad that I have that. That's what I'm trying to embrace is like, I just learned during this roast that I'm really competitive. And I think that's always
I mean, you
something that
won. If you want to know, you won. If that was the
it's,
competition, then you won it.
I think that's the first time I've let in that I'm competitive because it's the first time I've ever won something really, like I'm like, oh, this is kind of fun being competitive. But it's true. Like I really always, I think avoided that description of myself because it just sounds like someone who's an asshole because you just picture competitive people being like sore losers and I can be all those things. But I think right now I'm like, okay, this is something I like about myself is that I am competitive and I'm going to lean into it. It can actually be someone that is just a sore loser and like kind of aggressive. It's like someone who works really hard. Okay, it's maybe it's good to be competitive and I'm trying to focus on the things that I feel are deficient and like lean into them and see what happens. That's my new goal for myself is to be like, okay, this new person I am is competitive. What does that turn into?
Yeah. Well, what do you think?
Well, I think in terms of my relationship, it means like, I realize that I really like when winning someone over and like feeling like I won someone. So for me, when I'm in a relationship and it's safe and I'm like, he's mine and I'm secure, it's kind of boring to me. Like I really I don't get comfort from feeling secure. And that's a problem and I have to address that because I should feel comfort in being secure. I shouldn't always have to feel anxious about stuff, but I like when I'm like chasing someone a little bit and then I
Mm.
earn them. It feels good to me. And I feel like in my relationship I do feel very secure enough to be like, yeah, you can go out and like talk to other girls. I think that'll actually make me like you more. And I don't think I'll lose you because I am secure that you love me. So it's like I think I'm toying with that. And I don't want to be someone who's like, I am poly, but I think that like I could be, I could be. And
You
I don't
could,
even know what that means, but
oh
like
my
I
God.
don't care. I think it would make me want something more and try harder in a relationship if I felt like I was at
You
a
had
just
competition. If you had other
yeah,
girlfriends, no, I'm dead
yeah.
that you're taking this to that level.
I really I
That your brain works that way, that
This
you
is what
went from
therapy did today. It opened me up where I was like, I think this is what I need. I don't know. Let's try.
I can't that you went from like competitive, winning the roast
To
to
like winning a man.
Am I poly?
Yeah, like poly people get like I don't even know what it means to say that, but I think I might need to look into it because but even though and they say like open relationships, whatever this is, I'm not doing it. I'm just talking about it, but they're like, they don't work. And it's like, well, neither do monogamous ones. Like what everything kind of like fails. So I don't know. I'm open to new ways of
I
trying
love how
things.
Chris is like literally doing laundry in the next room, and you're over here
Yeah.
like changing the relationship into like
To
different
his
things.
benefit, I'm
Yeah.
like, you could go meet someone.
You
Like
think he would be down though?
I think so. Like I think
He's
I can't
open-minded.
speak for him, but is a he's a hot guy. And if I'm feeling like in our relationship, I'm not providing him with that kind of attention that he wants, maybe go get it. You deserve it. You're so hot. Like if I don't have time to like be into because I go through, hormonally, you go through like stuff. I'm like, go get this somewhere else. And maybe actually you getting it somewhere else will make me go like, wait, I want it. Like as sad as that seems, I don't he was not offended at the idea of
He
it
wasn't
when I
offended.
presented it. No, not at
Today,
all.
today. This was all today happened.
Yeah,
The
like
therapy.
literally right before I got on.
Wait, and then because you roasted him a little bit in
Yeah.
your
I said I'd shoot him in
yeah,
the fucking face for a
right.
lottery ticket to suck
Yeah.
Tom Brady's
Does he
dick.
care about shit like that?
No, he was there when I decided to do that joke.
And what he
Um,
said, and he thought it was
he was like,
funny.
"Do it. It's really funny." And he goes, "Maybe I can talk to the guy. They could cut to a close up of me." And I thought that would be so funny. So
Oh,
he tried to
yeah.
make it better because it was supposed to be this moment of like I'm about to propose to him or like just like love of my life. And it would have been so funny to have him like look back at me and like I love you too, babe. And then I go and I would shoot you in the fucking face. Like it would
Yeah.
have added to the comedy, but his seat sucked, so they couldn't get the camera back there. So but yeah, he was totally down. That's what's so great about him is that he doesn't mind me being myself comedically, even if it means throwing him under the bus.
Wow. That's so
Like
nice.
he's just like, as long as it's funny, he really like puts comedy first, which is so nice. But that, it is, I'll definitely talk to him about this conversation after it and be like, should I tell them to cut anything? But I think I feel like I've learned where the line is for him because there is a line for sure, but it's
Yeah.
definitely a it's the bar is lower than I think other guys would have for me
So
in
like
terms
the
of like
short
what's up.
stuff, like
Yeah,
getting
he doesn't
upset,
care.
he doesn't care about the short stuff. Is he
No,
really short? I mean,
he's shorter
he's
than
not
me. He's 5'8.5", I think. And I'm
okay.
5'9.5". So it's
Uh-huh.
like, and then I'm always in heels. So it's
Yeah,
significant
it's not Kevin
sometimes.
Hart short though.
No, but I
Yeah.
really like he could be that short to me. I'm kind of like height blind. I don't really see it on guys. I'm more like I read confidence more than anything on guys. Like a
Mhm.
guy can look taller to me if he is confident, and handsome enough. So like I love my boyfriend's face is like my favorite face, and he's a confident guy. So the shortness it doesn't even factor in for me.
Well, when you
Um,
were doing the roast and you were making fun of like Kevin being short, I was
yeah.
like, I was telling my husband, I was like, Kevin really got lucky with the short thing because like
Oh
you know
yeah.
you're short, and then like what do you care? Go off. You know what
You're
I
so
mean?
right. It's such a softball of
But
a
is
insult.
yours like yours was like the slut thing? Like, do you think that's like an easy one to deal with too?
Yeah, but I
Or
was kind of feeding into it by trying to suck Tom Brady's dick. Like, and
right.
I talk a lot about if you don't listen to my stand up, if you're not like really paying attention, you would think I'm a slut because I talk about sex a lot. So, like, I don't mind that. It was more like, you're not funny. Those are the ones that hurt, or like the industry is, I think Tony Hinchcliffe said, like, the industry's shoving you down our throats, much like you shove your hand because you're bulimic. The bulimic thing didn't bother me because I was like,
Oh
oh, you think I'm
yeah.
thin? Like, I didn't care about that at all. And I talk about having an eating disorder so often that that's okay for people to like reference that. It does not affect me at all. If anything, I'm like, it's the sick part of my brain is like they think I'm thin. Like I don't literally don't care at all. That people wrote to me being like, Nikki, I'm so sorry they used that against you. That seems really hurtful, and that did not affect me. But what affected me is being said I'm not funny, or that I'm like somehow like people are forced to like endure me. That would be
Yeah.
like the biggest insult to me.
Really. That's the biggest.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna
That
ask
one,
you.
like,
Like,
I was
what would
like,
offend you?
ow. Like, do you like, because I don't want to be somewhere I'm not wanted. So if I'm never one to be like, with this newfound fame, like that I was saying, or attention that I'm getting, I'm not like, I've been here the whole time, guys. You haven't noticed. I was always like, yeah, this is what I deserve. Like,
But
I'm
but
not,
but but Nikki, you have but you if you said the former, it would make sense. Like you have been here.
yes,
Like and you keep
yes,
saying this newfound thing, which like the way
it,
you're talking about it is I feel like your fans wouldn't even
my
say
fans
it
are,
that way. They wouldn't
no,
be
they
like
wouldn't.
they wouldn't say that, you know, they would back you
I'm
up
just
and
saying, like the new people that know about me that didn't
mm.
know about me 2 weeks ago, because there is like there are a ton of people that may have known of me but not paid any attention. Just like she's a girl whose face I kind of see on
Wait,
podcasts and stuff.
how many followers did you go up on Instagram?
I think it was like it was over 200,000,
Stop. Like
which
a
is pretty significant. And I have a million, so it was like grew by 20%.
oh, it went like from 1 to 1.2.
Yeah, I've been waiting for that point. I was at one for literally over a year. And I don't really pay attention to the things. I wasn't
Yeah.
looking like how many I was just like, someday the point one's gonna show up. And it was not showing up anytime soon. It's
Right,
until the roast.
right, because that's a big once you get to that, then that's like you have to jump by 100,000.
To feel any change. Yeah. So before then I was getting like daily little like hits of dopamine, like, oh, up another 1,000. But now, yeah. So that's been so yeah, it's like it just more people are recognizing me, and I just feel like and more people that are like I've always wanted to work with, or I've always wanted them to acknowledge my existence, or like A-listers I think are starting to be like, you were awesome, where I'm like, oh, like that person knows my name now and they did it last week, and that I might be someone they want to work with. There's not a part of me that's like, you didn't want to work with me last year. Like, well, I could have done this last year. I feel like I'm right at the moment where I deserve exactly what I've been
That's
getting.
amazing.
Like I feel like it's the right time.
That's such a great outlook. And especially like right when you're turning 40, they do say that 40 is like the new
It
hot
feels
era
like
to
it.
yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
like,
God, I
and
love
like
that.
the person I'm becoming, like I'm still morphing into this woman that I kind of see myself as, and I'm not quite there yet, but I've made some good strides. Like I feel like really things I wrote a song that is people love, that's doing really
Yeah,
well.
it's getting a lot. You wrote Someday You'll Die, so it's like goes along with your special.
Yeah, I wrote it because my special was we were editing it and I didn't have a song for the credits and I couldn't afford to buy one because for like $30,000 we were over budget, it would have come out of my pocket. So I was like, I'll just write a song, and I've been like learning guitar and singing for like since COVID. Um and so like even that doing that is like insane to me. I always wanted to be a singer. I would always dream of like, oh, I wish I could like have a song that people would know or like enjoy and listen to on repeat. Like that just was not even close to an option for me 4 years ago. So that's so cool that I was able to make that happen. It's like, what else could I do that's always been a dream? Like, I just don't think there's 40s is feeling really good. And like, and I feel like when you're 40s, like, it's just not the vibe to care what people think. Like, it's just not 30s. You could still kind of be insecure. And yes, of course, I'll still be insecure in my 40s. There's no question. But it just isn't the vibe. Like, everyone just wants a 40-year-old woman to fucking know who she is and kind of like lean into it. And I think that at least that's what I want from my 40-year-old women or women in their 40s and so on. Like, I hope we all just let go of this stuff. So I think 40 is the first frontier of really shedding that like desperate for approval, desperate to look a certain way or be a certain way. And I think I'm just like, I'm right approaching it, and I'm like ready for that change to like drop that shit.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah.
I
I think
love
it's
that.
time.
I mean, it's like this new era for you, which like I didn't even realize before talking to you, like how much you're feeling it, you know? Like you see it from the
Yeah.
outside, but you're really feeling it and owning it. And it looks like you probably age has something to do with it. Because if you were 25 and this was happening, like who knows how you
Oh,
would have
I would
handled
feel
it.
so undeserving. I would have felt so guilty. Like at 25, I knew I like was not ready. I got things here and there, and I would be like, okay, this having an MTV show at 27 feels right. It's MTV. Not many people are watching at this level, at this scale. I would have felt so undeserving, and I still struggle with that. And I'm trying to meet myself where I am in terms of what people think I deserve. I'm trying to, and I'm getting close to meeting myself and being like, yeah, I do deserve this. But back then, it's thank God for this timing. I couldn't have handled this at another time.
Were you worried that people would go from the roast, people that met you maybe for the first time or knew of you, like you said,
Mm,
and they died over you, and then they're like, damn, she has a special coming out, running to see it.
yeah.
And then the expectations are high.
Yes.
And
That
so,
was my biggest fear. It was like,
uh-huh.
thank you for articulating it. Like, I haven't been able to say it because it feels so embarrassing to say it. But like, I was like, hey, I hope everyone knows that 6 minute roast that I did was like months and months of such hard, fucking intense labor that a stand up special just isn't. Yes, it's a lot of work to do a
Wait, a
stand-up special.
roast is more work than the stand-up special?
No, if you really, it's more focused, intense work. Like it's like, I would say a special is like a playoff game, and the roast is a Super Bowl. Like the stakes are high, but is not. But there's more room to like. Okay, we're in a serious playoff game. We could get them back. Like there's just, and it's like an accordion. Like it's changing. It's so big, and it's also I'm not as focused. Like up there, I have 6 minutes to be the best ever. I have a whole hour to prove who I am, and it's a storyline, and it goes up and down. So I'm not gonna be like hard hitting jokes the whole time.
Right.
An immense amount of work goes into specials. They are so daunting, and it's the same level of pressure that I put on myself for the roast. But in terms of like the performance, it's just a balance beam routine that you're watching on a roast, and a special is more like a long match that where like it's just different, the level of like, is she gonna nail it? Like I don't want people to expect that level for the special, but then the special came out and people didn't expect that. They know that it's different, a different form of comedy that I'm doing, and it's more personal and conversational
and darky a little.
Darky, yeah.
A little
yeah,
darky.
I think that I love that comes out in there. Like if you can't handle that, like it's okay and it's not for you, but I feel like that really is so me. And I was really glad that I got to like include that stuff. And some of it I feel like, oh, maybe I jumped the gun and putting it in a special because now
Are you talking about the fertility? Which one? Which
all of it.
darky
Like now
stuff?
I've like leaned into like the suicide stuff,
Right,
the
suicide.
fertility stuff.
Yeah.
Like I found better ways to articulate the dark thought I was having that makes it a little less harsh and a little more palatable, which is always what you're kind of trying to do. But it happened for the way I was ready to do it at the time. And that's the worst thing about taping a special, is that you keep doing the material afterwards because you like it. No one's seen it yet. So you take it on the road and then it gets better. And you're like, no, why is this like now? But I wish I could add that one line to it. But it's okay. That's just like that's always what happens. And now all those jokes have like led to new premises. So a lot of my new stuff that I'm taking on the road is the same themes, but it's just worked out more and has more depth to it, and more like I sell the argument a lot better.
Well, it is. If you watch, first of all, a roast is wild to me, the things that you can say, because like I feel like we're so gentle on social media. Someone will find an old tweet that you like said something like that's a percent as bad as like one roast joke, but that's like you could be canceled. But then in a roast, I mean, you can call somebody fat, skinny, bulimic, balding, ugly, disgusting, short.
Yep.
Like how? But how? Like how's there such a discrepancy?
You sign up for it because the person has signed up for it. And that's where it's like, if jokes were made about people that weren't there, like if you walk into that arena and you're going to be on camera, just know that you're fair game. And they do know that. And I would feel bad maybe for the people who were at the first roast of all time, because there was no precedent. But you can watch videos of what roasts are. And if you agree to go, that's what's going to happen. And it's kind of a night of unbridled honesty. Like, yes, it's all done under like trying to be cruel, which sucks, but there's something refreshing about just being honest.
So refreshing. I feel like that's why people were obsessed, because it's like we miss that. And we crave a little meanness, because today, we don't have Joan Rivers even saying a dress on the carpet is ugly. Like you can't even say a dress is ugly anymore. You used to be able to,
because that's mean.
It's so mean. And then a roast is like, go kill yourself, and the crowd is roaring. So I think,
I know,
like psychologically, I was thinking about it, and I was like, we're so thirsty for like to be like okay to be a little mean and dark and like say the things and not be offended by everything, and like in that fucking place you can do it, but also on stage. I mean, like in your comedy, like you talk about fertility in a way that
Yeah, I literally say that I wanted my friends to have miscarriages so that they could go on like a girls' trip with me. And that is, let me just say, that is obviously a joke. Like I took that thought to a joke, and I make a joke about like, planning their bridal shower. And I'm like, we should go to a staircase museum, and just ridiculous things that would lead to a possible miscarriage. That's a funny way because it's obviously exaggerated and I do not wish that ever. But there was a part of me when my friends were getting pregnant that I was like, and or when my
Can you
friends would
not? Like, can you
miscarry,
not? Can you not?
yeah, or they would miscarry, and there would be a tiny part of my really just, that ego that wants to keep them around that goes, oh, good, like it's not yet. I don't lose them yet. And even though my friend is going through so much pain, it doesn't take away from the fact that I'm so sorry for her and I fucking hate this is happening to her. There was a little part of me that was like relieved, and I was interested in that part of me that felt like that I was so ashamed of that I would ever feel any kind of satisfaction from my friend's horrible pain. Like that's a bad feeling in and of itself to be like, God, I'm a monster to feel this way. But I think, but it only comes from a place of like, I just love my friend a lot. And sometimes my brain goes to wild places that are really dark. And that's not who I want to be. But the only way to kind of combat that ugliness is to like kind of air it out and get it out there and be like, sorry, I thought this. I hate that I thought this. Like, that's
Yeah.
what and that's the roast jokes. Like, I was delivering them like, Jeff, you look this way. And I'm like, I'm sorry I have to say this, but like, there is remorse around the thought that is true and comes from a true ugly place. Like we all have unwanted thoughts. We all have thoughts that you would never tell anyone that you thought. We all have, I'm certain of it. And I choose to disclose some of those. I don't disclose
Yeah.
all of them, but when I'm able to make them funny and a little bit more palatable, I think it's okay to disclose them because I do know that everyone has them. And it doesn't mean that I actually want my friends to miscarry. That doesn't mean I'm a bad person. It just was a dumb little thought that was like, oh, good, more time with her.
But
Like,
you
it's
have
not
the
the same.
guts and the chutzpah to like say these things, or when you were talking about rape, which is like such a huge word,
Yes. Yes.
and you were saying like, but it's okay. She was raped, thank God, and that's like
Yes.
it's a thing again about like how just about people and how behavior is, and it's true that people would be like, she can say that you know
Raped.
what I
It's
mean?
okay. She can do a joke about
But
rape.
you're using even you using that word, like I'd be
Oh,
scared to use
dude, I
the
know.
word.
Well, it is triggering. If someone in the crowd had been raped, they're going to hear that word and it's going to make them have a physiological response. Like I understand PTSD, I understand triggers. Like I do believe it's totally discomforting to hear and be reminded of something that traumatic that happened to you. However, that is a thing that needs to be talked about. And if we talk about it more, victims of it, I do believe will feel less alone with it unless like I think we need to talk about it to prevent it, to raise awareness, and to you know, triggering things still need to be talked about. And I always say if you get triggered at one of my shows and you need to leave, I totally get it. Like I get it.
Do
I'm
you
so sorry
get
that
do
happened
you
to
get
you.
messages like from people that
I
that
think maybe
that are
once or
offended?
twice in the past, once or twice, but generally it doesn't happen. But if it does, I 100% will give you Venmo your money back. No questions asked. If you're like, you ruined my night because you brought up this thing and I had to leave the show. You don't even need to be mad at me. You literally can be like, I love you so much, Nikki, but I couldn't, after you mentioned molestation or whatever, I couldn't get through that bit and I had to leave. I'd be like, I love you so much, girl. I'll invite you to a next show. I won't do that bit about it. I don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable, but I do feel like I still can talk about those things because I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. It's an unintentional consequence of it that you're entitled to feel offended or whatever you feel, but it doesn't mean that I need to not talk about it when you're not there. Because I don't think I'm saying anything that's making fun of you or making it so that that happens to you again. If anything, I think I'm getting awareness out that makes people not look at you as maybe not make what happened to you shameful but by talking about it. So I am trying. I know I'm trying to help with my comedy. I know it. And yeah, but I would always refund someone. I don't care that I would
Have
expect the
you
same if I
refunded?
was
Have you Venmoed anybody in your
I
life?
Venmoed. Yeah, I remember like it was years ago. There was a Reddit thread that just said that I wasn't good. And they were right.
Oh,
Like it was just like bad. I remember it was a bad show. I smoked weed before it and I was just like kind of disjointed on stage. I was going through something. It was one of those shows that you hear someone I never read things about myself. It kind of popped up on my feed. And I read like their experience of like she didn't know what she was doing. It was kind of all over the place. It was too ADD. And I was like, they're fucking right. And I was embarrassed after that show. And if I could, I would give all the money back for it. Like I can't. And I wrote to those people, DM'd them on Reddit and was like, give me your Venmo. I am so sorry. And I'll like comp you the tickets to the next show where I promise you I'll never do this again. I needed to learn. I like didn't know that other people noticed and they did. And thank you. And so I Venmoed those people back, but I
Oh my
haven't had to
God.
do it again. And I've said it pretty openly to people that I will Venmo them if they're offended. So it doesn't happen often, I don't think.
That's cool of you.
I just don't want anyone, I wouldn't want, like, if I'm at a movie and my intelligence is offended just because it sucks, like, I'll leave the theater and ask for my money back. Like, I do believe, like, you pay to see art that makes you feel respected and comfortable. Like, that's
Yeah.
a fair thing to expect.
And you're going out on the road again now. Like you're not,
Yes,
you're
always,
like you're always on the road.
always on
He does-
tour. So I have a new
he doesn't
tour
get
that's
over it.
Alive and Unwell tour. And yeah, it's just an extension of the kind of things already been talking about. Um, but just more of, yeah, just keep doing stand up forever. Stand up's like my favorite thing to do because it's live and it's like one special night with people just all in a room together and you don't have to watch footage of it later and edit it and be like, why did my face do that? Like it's just one thing that happened. We all experience it and we don't have to talk about it again. And it's just, that's what I like about, I don't like reviewing things and like seeing footage of myself. And I don't know about you, but I just can't stand it.
Oh yeah. No, I can't. I wouldn't be able to either. But I was, what I was thinking before I started the interview with you, I was like, seeing you on the roast and we're seeing so many clips even after watching it, and you're like, oh my God, does she walk around and just like roast everybody? Like I was like, she's gonna
Yeah.
see my maternity photo, she's gonna roast it, she's gonna roast my neon sign, she's gonna roast my big. But
Oh
like,
my
I
God.
didn't
I
think no, I
would
didn't think you were gonna,
no.
but I was like, you have material. Like if you wanted to,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like you're not. You don't. Do people come up to you and they're like,
Yes.
roast me?
Yes. And that is not like, yes, I can think horrible thoughts about people if I want to and get really vicious and it's so fun, but it is not my natural state at all. Like, my natural state is to like be jealous of all of your setup and like how cute you look in that photo and like, oh my God, your sign like is the kind of font I would want for my sign. It's like my default is to find things that I want about someone else rather than like shit on them. But yeah, that is a
How
problem.
did
Like
you get so good at the roasting thing?
it's because it's joke writing. Like I think I'm a good joke writer and I'm good and I'm also good at being honest. So it kind of combines those two
Mm.
things. And I'm someone who like I think I'm really good at roasting myself and thinking of the meanest things to tell myself. And so I can kind of switch it to other people if I want to.
Wait,
You know,
did they ever do one of you like where you were the
no, and I would hate that because you just have to sit there the whole time and you're last. I love going up soon because then I can relax after I'm done because you're only nervous about like your performance. I'm not
yeah
nervous sitting there laughing all night. So I would hate to just have to sit there all night and be like, "Oh, my set's coming up," but also like be present. No. No, thank you.
yeah. Wait, so what was the deal with Ben Affleck? What did you think of his thing? Was it as weird in person?
Yeah, it was not that great, but I think he made the mistake of thinking it wasn't that big of a deal, which I've done before too. Like you just
Mm.
get asked to do something and you go, no one's going to see this. I can just kind of phone it in. That also like a confidence in what he was doing that was probably undeserved due to maybe lack of sleep or he wasn't paying attention enough. Like he's brilliant and we all know that he is. So he could have done something more impressive. He just didn't work hard enough on it.
Mm.
Probably because didn't have the schedule or like the energy to do it. And then the premise he did pick would have worked with he probably didn't rehearse it enough, so we didn't really understand the through line as clearly as we could have.
The internet
Then
troll thing. The one funny thing he
yeah.
did say, I'll give him credit, was the roast, like another Thursday for me, as I call,
Mm-hmm.
like that was funny. He,
Yes. I think he had a theme which was like he wanted to come at people who were internet critics, both for him and probably his
I mean, yeah,
wife.
J Lo is dealing. She gets massive amounts of hate. I don't know
And
why.
that just kind of started recently. Like this, like
Right?
we all don't like her now. Let's all collectively decide that she's the worst. And
Why?
he's gotta be dealing that with from her and he's already and for himself. And yeah, that was like he probably was like, this will be perfect. I get to like exercise some of this anger I have through this lens of Tom Brady. And so he picked that premise. And it sucks because roast jokes, if they don't go well, you're just on to the next one. And the next one could go well. But his whole thing was one joke. So when it didn't go well, oh, I heard that. When it didn't go well right away, it was not going to keep. It was just didn't go well the whole time.
Oh
It was.
my
I
God.
felt for him. We've all been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've all like committed to a premise too hard and then it doesn't work, but you have to like the teleprompter's still going. I have to feel it out. And we've all also underestimated what a big deal something
Right,
is.
right, right,
You
right.
know, like,
Yeah.
oh my God, like, even if I like a podcast that I'm like, oh, this is just, I don't even like research it. And then I'm like, it gets that many listeners and I looked like that on, like, like
Yeah.
you don't do your research because your life is too busy. That's what I assume was going on with him. And his
Yeah.
marriage is falling apart. I'm just kidding. I did not say that. I
No.
read that last night on
No,
some
I did.
page
I
six
did too.
thing.
I saw that too. I was like, what are they? But I
I
feel
asked my
bad for
boyfriend, I go,
J
what's the
Lo.
source? Oh, I do too. I feel bad for anyone who just because anyone who wants to be famous only wants to be liked. So when the tide turns the other way, it's gotta feel so fucking horrible. And I think that's part of being liked that scares me is that I know it goes the other way. Like people can't like you for too long. Like Betty White and Dolly Parton are like kind of the only ones that have avoided a time of backlash. And I bet they dealt with it even before, you know,
Is that part of why you were saying like that you were good with like the level that you were at
yes, no one
before?
notices me. Everyone just goes, no one, people don't, you're underrated. It's so much better being underrated than overrated. Underrated is an
So
incredible feeling.
how are you like quieting that fear right now?
I am trying to believe that I am as rated as much as people are saying, and like also not let it dictate why I'm happy. Like not be today a happy day because I got this much attention. Like I need to find my self-worth in other places because that will go away. It is fucking inevitable. It doesn't, there's no way to sustain everything in life goes away. And that's part of why, I mean, that's literally why I don't want kids and why I don't want marriage. I'm like, I'm ultimately scared this thing that I love too much will be taken from me in some way. So if I don't let it in close enough, it can never hurt me. So I'm trying not to let in fame too much because I know it's gonna hurt me. It's like getting a dog. You know it's gonna die before you die. Like my barring some tragedy, my fame will dissipate before I do. Like I'm not going to die as famous as I want to be. It just doesn't happen that way, especially as a woman in this business. If I live to 90, there's no way I'm going to be like as famous at 90 as I am now. No way. So I have to be okay with it going away someday. I have to accept it and not let it get too close.
Oh my God, perfect timing for our exit song.
Yeah.
Someday you'll die. I'm sorry, you sound like Taylor Swift.
I mean, I think maybe
Are
I
you
like
trying
Taylor Swift
to?
because no, that's the way I sing. But I'm like, do I like her because she sounds like me, or did I just like morph into her? But I would think it was probably the latter. But it's unintentional.
Wait, you said watching yourself is hard. Is listening to yourself hard?
No, I like him. I'm not as good of a singer as I want to be, not even close, and I have a long way to go. But I am totally in acceptance of the level I'm at and what I delivered on this. Like I feel like they're
You're
congruent.
proud of it. You're proud of
Yeah,
the song. I'm
yeah,
so happy
yeah.
for you. Someday you'll
Thank you.
die. You're special on Max. Your fucking song, and you're killing it. And I think you have such a like healthy outlook on everything. And
Thank
I'm
you
so
so
happy for your
much.
success. And it must have felt really good. I thought I was like niche. I was like watching and I was like, I put up this story because I was watching like live, put up the
Yeah.
story and I was like, Nikki Glaser fucking killed it. And I thought I was like, out here on my own,
I love that. No, that
and
feels
then
so good.
I follow like, celebrities and everything. And then everyone was posting it. And I was like, damn girl. So really, damn
No, it
girl.
means so much to
It's
me that
well
you thought that.
deserved.
Thank you so much.
Um,
Thank you for fitting me in and talking to me. I know you just gave birth. Congratulations.
oh no, I didn't, but I'm about to like right now.
Wait, really? You're pregnant
Yeah.
right now? I thought you
No,
gave birth 3 weeks
no,
ago.
I'm 38 weeks today, and I keep saying that I'll stop doing podcasts, but then
Oh
I'm
my
not
God.
giving birth yet. So I'm like, what am
Wait,
I
is this
gonna
your first
do?
baby?
Second.
Oh my God,
Thank
congratulations.
you.
Oh my God,
Thank
how old's
you.
your other one?
He's gonna be 4. Yeah,
Okay.
I know. It's weird. It's like
How's this pregnancy compared
people
to the
are
last
like,
one?
when are you going out on maternity leave? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, what am I supposed to do? Just sit like, but I kept on saying deadlines, like, okay, after May 3rd, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna do. And then I'm like, but what am I gonna
What
do?
else am I gonna
What
do?
else am I gonna
I'm just
do?
talking on a mic, even though it's so
Yeah.
much work. You convince yourself it's not.
It's just
Well,
a lot
good
of
for
sweat,
you.
It's just a lot of sweat.
It is. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
like
Well,
you're giving me.
congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
so awesome. It's any second now. Are you
It's
nervous? Or
it's
you just feel like, oh, old hat?
I feel like like whatever, like let it come, we'll deal with it when it comes, kind of
Yes.
thing. People are like, "Are you so excited?" And I'm like,
You're like,
there's things to get through before, It's
yes,
like you don't
yes.
know.
That's so
Um,
healthy.
but thank you. But
Yeah,
thank you for coming on,
congratulations. Yeah,
Nikki.
thank you
You're
so much.
amazing, and
You're
can't wait to see
amazing.
what you do.
Thank you
What you
so
do next.
much.
Okay, babe.
All right. Bye, girl.
Bye.